already courting him. Or you live? Right.
Yeah. Now you good though. I'm just doing that sound check. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
It's
yeah,
already teams courting him, so
but yeah.
it's
So
going to be interesting. Hmm?
think Lamar Jackson is on the clock. Then he definitely got to go. He got, you know what I mean. He got to step up and perform and come through in the playoffs.
Listen, man, they didn't. I'm not sold on the defense being better, making them Super Bowl. They had the number one defense a few years ago when they lost to KC. They had the number one defense, and they couldn't get it done.
Yeah.
You know, so they've had great. Last year was the first time the defense just was pure trash, but they've had great defenses before. So I say absolutely, it falls on Lamar, and then it's going to fall on Lamar getting his contract done. It's going to fall on Lamar freeing up some money for them guys.
Contract. So what? Then they just signed him to a new contract.
No, they trying to extend him now because his cap hit to be over 70-something million. They got to get that done. That's their number one priority this offseason was extending Lamar and, you know, trying to bolster up that D-line and stuff. Yeah.
So do they do you think Lamar should take a cut?
I can't say that. I don't know. I just know they got to do something with his number and they got to try to extend him.
There's a way to restructure it. Put money on the back end. Yeah, there's different ways they do that.
Yeah.
I think with Lamar, though, they're going to have to pay him. They're going to have to put money. They're going to have to find money up front, I think.
Yeah.
For Lamar.
Not in the back. Yeah. And something that they can give them some money without it being a hit against the cap. They got to figure something out.
Yeah.
But, you know, they the experts, not me. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
Tom, what's good, Jack?
What's up, Tom?
What's happening, fellas? Excuse my tardiness, man. Excuse my tardiness.
It's all good. It's all good. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I think before you and Jim came on, I was talking to Clayton about the I watched the episode of what is it? Jason Whitlock show. What's his show called? I forgot. But anyway, he was talking about the how they're saying college sports is in chaos because of this NIL and them having to pay these kids, right? And you it's a lot going on. You got kids, and I'm gonna play some of the audio, but he was saying like these kids not even like when they do senior day, it's only like 1 or 2 kids that stayed there for the whole for the whole 4 years, and they saying that changed the whole landscape. Right?
Yeah.
But and I'm gonna push back on some of the narrative that they trying to put out there, right? Because I think that like they being disingenuous, and what I mean is, if we wouldn't be talking about kids that like golf or tennis, you know what I mean? If you in college and you playing golf or you playing tennis, they don't concern themselves with that, right? So the thing is, it's all about the money. You know, now that you have to pay these kids to play at these schools, now you know the kids are entitled, they selfish, and they doing things that kids going to do.
Right.
You know what I mean? But now they trying to change the narrative, right? So that's my whole pushback on it. But let me see if I can find this thing with Jason Whitlock and Coach JB. Y'all familiar with Coach JB?
Yeah. I'm not a fan, but I'm familiar with him.
Yeah.
I know that name. Why do I know that name?
He was in Coach JB was he had one of those HBO specials or something when they like Last Chance University.
Okay. Yeah.
He was at a JUCO college.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. All right. Let me see this.
Do the math.
Oh, okay. Hold up. I can't have that music in there.
Coach JB.
Are they even going to get in? But you got the powerhouse schools with teams. But it's not going to cover up the fact that college sports are in free fall and in total chaos and it's completely collapsed. We'll get Coach Jason Brown's take on that. That's how we will start this Friday edition of Fearless. You also do not want to miss the second half of the show. We're starting JB at the front. Years played in the NFL for Mike Holmgren, Nick Saban when Saban was with the Dolphins. Cover up the fact that
hold up, fellas. As you can see, I'm not CBS. But yeah, but basically, I'm gonna go to what is it, like the 7-minute mark when JB is in.
Mhm.
Right.
and the NCAA fighting with each other, whether he's going to get a 6-year of eligibility. Donald Trump just hosted a roundtable with Nick Saban and other power brokers in college sports. Can this thing be fixed, JB?
No, it can't be fixed unless you're going to renege and do everything and say, I'm going to start over. How are you going to fix it now? The kids have tasted the recipe. So how are you going to tell them that there is no more catfish and there is no more salmon and there's no more barbecue ribs at JB's house that Jason Whitlock won't show up for? How are you going to tell them all that, Jason? Like, I'm curious how you're going to tell. I'm going to put this tube full of paste that we've squeezed out for since you and I played, and now we're going to put it back in? No way. It's not possible. You're going to have a total what would that be? You would implode the current product and have to restart and do it all over again. And then you're going to have, I don't know, maybe you'll get JUCO back. Maybe you'll get the blood life of football back, high school. But right now, there's no way to fix it unless you completely gut it. And then you're going to lose product, entertainment value product. You're going to lose the product quality because you're not going to get the same player. They're going to go elsewhere. So
Well,
I'm curious to see what happens.
So, but basically, what they saying there, right, is like with college kids now that they getting paid, right? If you take back their paycheck, I don't know why they want to do that, but if you take it back, they saying that now the kids won't play; they'll just go play somewhere else, like some type of semi-pro league, to get them ready. Right? What you think, Clay? You disagree?
Yeah, I disagree with that. I don't think they'll go play semi-pro nowhere. And I don't necessarily believe that you have to stop and put the toothpaste back in the whatever he's saying. I just think you have to figure out a way to structure things, create more contract obligation and stuff like that to kind of fix sports. But I disagree with him too. He said something about they'll just go somewhere else to play. So are you saying college sports is in chaos? Because if it's total, if the whole college landscape is messed up, then what does he mean that the players will just go somewhere else to play? Like, the two seems like a contradiction to me, if you guys following what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So, I don't understand what JB is saying, to be honest with you. I don't understand it at all.
That was my impression too. It kind of fell apart at the end when he was saying that. But I mean, I think the points, the original point is worth discussing, of pre-NIL, post-NIL, and what that's done to the game of football, of the big dollar collegiate sports, football, basketball. Basketball, they do have that option to go out early if they're really talented. But I mean, the biggest one. The biggest sports are the ones that are affected the most, right? So whether it's football or swimming, baseball, these kids get gymnastics. Swimming's probably not the right example, but gymnastics is another example where some of these gals making big bucks, right? And to your point, Mike, having those kids have all the leverage, I think, is kind of shaking things up to where it's like, man, what do we got going on? In the old system, it would have taken decades for Indiana to win a national championship. Now it just takes, with the shifting sands and the way things move around. It took them a few years.
Yeah, I think part of you got two problems, right? One problem is I think some coaches can't coach without leverage. So if you got a kid that's making $3 million a year and you try to tell them go do some laps, you know what I mean? Like, man, that's gonna be hard to do. And the second problem is the school don't want to pay the amount of money. Like, now think about college athletics. They've been making money off of these kids, free labor for like over 200, probably like around 200 years. Right. And so now that they have to pay these kids, now, the kids are entitled. They blowing money on stupid stuff. And, you got kids going to Dubai and then they flying girls out and all this other stuff, But, nobody cared about the kids when the kids was broke. It was like, all right, man, we're going to turn them into men, and I heard, and I got the audio. Rick Pitino saying that the biggest problem now with these kids is not the AAU system; it's their parents, right? Mm. Now, I push back on that. I know a lot of great parents, people who raise their own kids, and it's not imperative that you have Rick Pitino raise your kid for that kid to turn out to be an upstanding citizen, right? So he's saying now the parents are too involved. Yeah, man. Like if my kid is making a couple $1 million a year, I'm not going to let Rick Pitino, like have his hand in the cookie jar. And my hand is not. And you know what I mean? Like I want to manage my kid like that. Right. So it's all about control. I think what it boils down to. I mean,
that's exactly what it is. It's and by these NIL deals going down, the coaches have less control. Mm-hmm. They have less say. I didn't know that NIL wasn't a contract that Clayton mentioned. I don't know why. I thought that it was some type of contract. So I guess it's just a handshake and I guess just like a formal agreement or something. Because a lot of kids, they'd leave and they'd sign an NIL. Then if another team come and say, "Hey, I give you more," boom, they'd transfer and go to that other spot. Because I heard I don't know. I'm not totally up on it, but I heard I read somewhere where a school is suing a player because he left. Went somewhere else. You know what I mean? So yeah. So I'm like, wow, that's crazy. So yeah. So I'm guessing it's not nothing in writing. Like Clayton said, it's not nothing in writing. Saying that I'm gonna stay here for a year or two or whatever. So they can like I say, just a wink and a handshake. And the deal is done. Like.
I think it's some contractual obligation. I just don't think it's long term. Like I don't think it. That's why that school's able to sue. I'm just saying they need to put more parameters on it. Like you get this money over this amount of time, so you ain't jumping ship all the time like that. But
I don't have a problem with that. And I don't have a problem with that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, look, man, I need you to commit 2 years to this amount. Yes. I don't have a problem with that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I really don't. Or if you do transfer or choose to leave, you got to get the bread back. You got to get the money back. So yeah.
But here's my thing about the coaches not having leverage and players having all the leverage, right? Don't you still have some high-profile coaches in college sports that's getting paid more than the players?
Absolutely.
Right, and you would think some of those coaches would have more control over the team because they're a bigger commodity than the player. Like the guy that just left Ole Miss to go to LSU. What was his name?
You talking about Lane Kiffin?
Yeah, him. Yeah. It's different. It's different high-profile coaches out there. So, you know what I'm saying? So to me, it's like it sounds like these guys. It's a cop out on some level. You know what I mean? Like making an excuse for certain things. And then on another level, right, the kids aren't like trying to, stay and deal with certain things because it's like, I can get money elsewhere. I can go somewhere else. I can get more time, stuff like that. So it's one of those things. But I think it's easily remedied if you just put stipulations in the contracts and in the money. Just put stipulations on it.
Or just change the NCAA rules, right? Bake some of those parameters you're talking about into the rules.
Right.
Well, that's
Yeah,
what
Well, I
I
mean, yeah,
agree.
to me, both things would happen.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
they
Because
trying.
I would even make it performance based.
Yeah, you can. They professional athletes now.
Yeah.
Right.
That's Mike, boy, that term there, they trying their best not to say that. They trying their
Right.
best not to use that term, but that's what it is.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is. But they're trying their best not to say they are employees of their university.
Well,
Yep.
both sides. It benefits both sides to like it benefit the kids not to say you're a professional athlete, and it benefits to the university not to say you're a professional athlete, right? Because if you're a kid, now you're getting held to a higher standard, like y'all talking about. As far as like, all right, you can't violate this contract, man. You know, you got to follow this contract to the letter of the law. And the university, if they admit that these kids were professional athletes all along, then that means that all right, so y'all been you've been kind of getting over on these kids and not paying them for generations. You know what I mean? For decades, promising kids, all right, we giving you a free education, but you know you still an amateur athlete just because you don't get a paycheck. On time, you know what I mean? Like a lot of those guys was getting paid anyway, but it was under the table.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a conversation with a guy on my job, and he was like, "Oh man, the kid should just do it for the love of the game." And I said, "Brother, there's no way." Because he said, "Man, he started naming Len Bias and Michael Jordan. Oh, they did it for the love of the game." I said, "Brother, there's no way you can be that naive, brother.
Yeah,
There's no way you could be your age and be that naive and thought that they wasn't getting something."
They was getting
You know
paid.
what I'm saying? Yeah, come on, man. It's coming
Yeah.
out about John Woods out there at UCLA them years when Kareem and them was out there. When them boosters used to come in, he would go in his office. You know what I'm saying? Everybody knew what it was, man. This ain't nothing new under the sun, man.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. They was getting
Going
paid.
back to the FMU days with Express with Eric Dickinson and them, man. Come on, man. This ain't nothing.
It was a lot easier back in the day to cover all that up, and where we're at now for them to try to identify as amateur athletes, it's just silly.
So
You can't. Yeah.
let me
Yeah,
ask you guys something. Do the universities pay taxes on the money they generate?
On
I
the
don't
money
know.
that the school generates?
Yeah, like from sports and television, all the money they generate. Do they
That's a good
pay any
question.
taxes on that?
I
That's a
don't
good
know.
question. I would think they would, but that's a good question. I don't know.
I would imagine that like some of those media contracts, they would have to that would go to a form of income that they would have to pay some sort of tax on.
Yeah.
Right. So
But-
that could be go ahead, Jim. I'm sorry.
No, I was just gonna say, but like if I'm a booster and I give $1 million to Kansas, if the money I've already paid tax on, is my gift tax deductible to them, to me?
Yeah, your gift tax deductible.
Right.
I mean, if you hand it to them,
Right.
but I don't know if they pay taxes on the gift.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
That's a crazy situation, right? Because some kids now they're choosing schools in states where there's no tax, like Tennessee, no state tax, Pennsylvania, you know what I mean? So now that's why they say you got USC and you got UCLA. Kids not going out there because their NIL money would get taxed out there
Twice. Yeah.
That's crazy.
And way heavier, Clayton, and way heavier. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is my thing. So maybe the universities don't want to qualify these kids as employees per se, because it might be a way to naturally, to me, it seemed like they would want to label them as that, because then if they're paying taxes, that could be part of their deductions, like to circumvent the tax laws to some degree, like the cost you got to pay.
Yeah.
You know, that goes into write-offs and stuff. And I can understand how the kids might not want to be qualified as that because of tax laws. But even with that being said, any kind of money earned, you can be a kid working part-time job. You make a certain amount of money, you got to pay federal taxes on it, you know? So, yeah, I was just wondering, like, you know, is the tax laws part of the reason why they fighting so hard not to call it what it is. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not sure.
And you got to take into account
Mhm.
certain, not every school will be able to pay these athletes, right? You know, you like you got those schools in Texas that got that oil money, man, that just, you
Mhm.
know,
Yeah, I'm just
it's just crazy. It's crazy to like the leverage that money is going to give those schools, and they're going to attract the best players.
Mhm.
You know, whereas though if
Do
you
you
don't have deep pockets like that, man,
do you guys really feel like college sports is in chaos?
I don't. You know
I
what?
don't
I'm
do.
especially when you got some kids. I'm following basketball right now, and man, you got some kids in college basketball, man. That's balling out, man. You got the boozer boy that's at you know, at Duke. Then you got the kid everybody complaining about in Kansas, but he can ball. You know what I mean? When he decide to play, he can play. Then you know you got it's a few other kids that I wasn't even down with that I'm watching, man. These
I
kids
think,
is balling.
and that, don't forget that dude out there at BYU. Don't forget.
Oh yeah, I forgot about him.
Oh my
Yeah,
God,
yeah,
yeah. Oh
That
my
was
yeah.
God.
a little bit of him last night, right? But I think, Clayton, when you say they're in chaos, man, I think I think they're trying to paint this picture so the general public can be up in arms about these kids getting that money, man.
Yeah,
I don't think it's in chaos,
yeah.
not at all.
Right.
And like Mike say, you know, they when the kids was broke, wasn't nobody saying that
Mhm.
college sports was in chaos and things like that. When the Fab Five was up there and they you know they was generating all this money and they wasn't getting paid or couldn't go buy, you know what I mean, a Happy Meal. Wasn't nobody saying college sports was in chaos then. So I
Yeah.
just think they trying to put this out there so regular Joe, who don't know, who don't really follow the game, they just, you know what I mean, hear the headlines or read the headline. Oh man, they need to do something. That's why he talking about they need a commissioner and things like
Mhm.
that because they want to pardon the pun, but they want to put a cap on what these guys are able to make.
Mhm.
You understand? They want to put a cap, man. If college football, man, generates so much money, so much money. Like you said about them college coaches, they're the they're the highest paid employees of the state. Most cases, they're getting
Mm.
paid more than the governors of the states in which they coach ball in. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
man, no, I don't think it's in chaos. I just think they like you said, Cleveland. I just think they just need to structure it better. That's all.
Mhm.
Yeah, but I
And
don't
they
think it's in chaos. Yeah,
and they want to stop these kids from jumping in the portal so easy too.
yeah.
Yeah,
So to
yeah.
me, you do something about that. Do
Yeah,
something about
I ain't
that
got a problem
portal.
with that either. I ain't got a problem with them putting some,
Yeah,
you know what I mean, some
yeah,
parameters in place to stop that. You know what I'm saying? I
yeah,
don't mind that either. Don't take
yeah.
away all they liberties, but you know what I'm saying? Like you say,
No.
so it be people playing for four teams in 4 years and things like that, and then they
Mhm.
transfer 3 times in the first 2 years, and you know what I mean? Yeah, they can do something like that, but
Yeah, I agree with that too. That you know,
Yeah.
yeah, you know, I mean, it's stipulations and responsibilities that come with making that kind of money. You know, like you are. I mean, you're a professional now. You know, and so you gotta abide by those rules. Just you
By the
know,
rules. Yeah.
um,
that term student athlete, man, that term been gone. I don't even know people even use that term anymore, man. But you know, when we was coming up, it was a student athlete, and you know what I'm saying? Oh, you got a student athlete, and like you just said, you get free room and board, you getting a free college education and things like that. Nah, man. If you stack the two up, nah, how about you pay me and I pay my own tuition?
mhm.
Yeah, only
Yeah,
pay me and I
Mhm.
pay my own tuition. Yeah. Mhm.
yeah, yeah. But then also you got to keep in mind, like it's only a small percentage of those guys, like they were saying on this part of a podcast, make the kind of money that somebody like a Shador Sanders make while off of NIL in college, right? So it's then you got a situation where all right, so if you got a Shador Sanders on your team and you're an offensive lineman, he making $7 million a year and you making 100,000 a year. That's going to cause, but I mean, is that something that you know you just got to deal with, just like you would in the real world? You know, every job you go to, you're gonna have somebody that get paid more than the other. You know, that's just something. That's the part of the real world. It shouldn't be. They trying to pull out all the stops though, as far as you know.
Now, no one speaks about Well, I ain't gonna say no one, but they don't talk about Arch Manning, Texas. I think he's down there getting like 50 million, right?
Mhm.
His NIL, you know what I mean, deal. No one's speaking about that. And like you say, Texas got a big war chest down there, man. Texas,
Mhm.
you know what I mean? They got deep pockets down there.
Yeah.
But no
Yeah.
one's talking about Arch Manning getting, you know what I mean, the money he's getting. But you want to talk about somebody else. But we know what Shador ain't even in school no more. But we know what he was getting, you know what I'm saying? And things like that. So certainly they seem to target certain individuals and the money they're making as opposed to other. And maybe they say Shador shouldn't get that because he was at Colorado and Colorado didn't have the money that Texas had. But apparently they do if they were able to pay him that.
Yeah.
I thought it was
Yeah.
going. I
Yeah.
thought this NIL stuff was going to create more resentment among teams. From the point that Mike made, like you got some players making astronomical money and then others not getting anything hardly. I thought the best way to really pay players was the universities paying the players out of some of the money they generate and just keep it even across the board, because they're students. But the way it is now, I definitely thought it was going to be a lot of resentment.
But I'm gonna tell you this, Click, like the example Mike just said. Now you got an offensive lineman getting 100,000 and Shador getting 5-6 billion, right? It was time where the star player was the only one getting something.
That's true.
And that offensive lineman wouldn't get anything.
That's true.
Yeah, so maybe they come to the realization like, hey man, I'm not the star, I'm not the one on the front of the program. You know what I'm saying? I'm not the one that they always pitching. I'm not the one that they're interviewing after games. So hey, I'm happy with my 100,000, or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? I'm happy with that,
But then there's some players that know this guy wouldn't be anything if it wasn't for the job I'm doing.
I think you're absolutely right. But like Mike, that's the real world. You know what I mean?
Yep.
You get to the NFL, you know what I mean? Unless you're a left tackle in the NFL, the left and right guard don't get paid what the left tackle get paid. You know what I'm saying? So
that is the real world. That is. And resentment is the real world too.
Yep.
And you can't tell me that on some of these teams you ain't got players taking plays off. You ain't got players missing blocks on purpose.
Oh yeah.
Things like that only show up in the film. Hey, listen, I feel you though. It's the real world. That's how it is. And some can handle it. But you can't tell me that some of these guys ain't out here quitting on plays and stuff out of resentment.
But you know what? Yeah. But you know what? That was happening before anybody was getting the numbers.
It was.
That
well, let me ask y'all this then. Do y'all think, because some people said like when you start giving kids millions and millions of dollars in college, right? Some people said like you should cap that because the kids are just so irresponsible. Like I said, you got kids buying property, you got kids buying flying, doing all kinds of things that nobody even thought about doing back in the day, right? And they say that is a distraction for those kids. But do y'all think they should cap what the kids could make as far as like the NIL and endorsements and stuff like that?
It's hard to say. I think, to be honest with you, I think the parents, this is where the parents come in at. And I think the parents should be more actively involved. They should have, some type of structure set up for that money, for them kids. You know what I mean? As opposed to just, now I know some people come from hardship situations where it's single parents and maybe they don't have that structure at home and stuff like that. But to say it should be a cap on it, I mean, maybe.
There needs to be something, right? And maybe this, I think it all comes back to having some sort of structure to the system, because right now it's nothing but a wild west. And I mean, you look at the NFL and the NBA, they get some of these kids coming in that are young and now they're getting millions and millions. And these teams have programs to sit these kids down and say, hey, this is what you need to do to protect yourself, protect your wealth, protect your money. And that, I mean, they put these kids through classes of and they teach them, hey, this is, you the decision's all yours, but here's what responsible people do with financially when they're making this kind of money. Are these universities doing the same thing for these kids?
Yeah. Well, let me ask y'all this then. Let me put it like this. Say if you have a guy on your campus that's a tennis player, right? And he is really good enough to go pro, and he playing on his college team. Like once he turned pro, or once he start getting that money, like the colleges really don't care like what type of like what he spent his money on, or and they don't concern themselves with that. And I think it should be the same thing for the athletes. They go kids like they gonna buy goofy stuff and spend their money on goofy stuff, but it's all a learning process. Whether you're a tennis player or whether you're a basketball player or a football player, if you can provide classes and some type of information for them to to help them out, then I think that's where that's where it should stop. Because I think if you're not doing it for all sports across the board, it just exposes the fact that you have ulterior motives, or it makes it look like it make it look like you got ulterior motives.
Well, once you turn professional, you're no longer the school responsibility anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Once you become a professional, so if them guys that still playing, sports in college, they're still there because they're still technically not pro yet. They still in the college game.
They identify as amateur.
Yeah, even though they're getting paid, as crazy as it may sound, yeah. So
Right.
that's why the colleges want to have some type of say, because we paying you and stuff like that, but you're still we're still responsible for you in a sense.
Yeah.
You're not a pro athlete. You're not in the NFL or the NBA. You know what I'm saying? So we want to still have some type of say in things. But you're right. If you like an individual sport, a tennis player, golf player, once you turn pro, so this I'm gonna ask y'all this because I don't know. Are they the NIL guys, right? They're getting paid, right? And on top of that, they're still getting a scholarship. Like it's both that they still have. Okay.
Oh,
Believe so.
yeah, I think so.
Now, say what you want about Deion Sanders, right? And we don't know what's happening in all these programs, but Deion Sanders takes those players in, and he created like savings accounts for them. He created stuff for them to put their money away and things of this nature. So, while it may, I don't know if we've had a situation so far that one of these young kids getting money, wind up having a tragic story behind the money, like lost everything. Well, I don't know if anything like that has happened yet, with a kid, blowing through all the money and being destructive and things of this nature.
Because they're getting that money, right?
Mm,
They still got free room and board. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? They still got
yeah,
free room and board. You know what I mean? If you decide to stay on campus, you're still getting your
yeah,
meals free.
yeah,
Things like that. Now, everybody got their vices
yeah.
and so on and so forth. But colleges can benefit from this because you can get guys to stay longer because they're getting paid more in
Mm,
college than they would be in the
yeah,
pros.
yeah.
You know what I mean? They come in on a rookie deal in the NFL or the NBA or whatever. You might be getting close to the same money, or if not more, just stay in school.
Yeah. So it's
And
just interesting.
another way they say that is hurting the NFL product is now you have guys retiring early before they even get to 30. So you got some NFL football players who retired before they even reach 30. So that's crazy right there. Like, and we spoke about like playing for the love of the game, right? So, when you had players who was looking forward to getting to the NFL and getting to their second and their third deal, now you got kids who got paid in college. By the time they start getting paid in the professionals, they already on their second or third deal because of the NIL money, and they retiring, man, before they get to 30. and they said that this is affecting the product that you're going to see in the future with the NFL paying them early like that.
Well, didn't some of those football players retire because of the concussion thing?
Well,
CTE
well,
or something.
Yeah, I
and
was
that's
thinking,
that is the that's the excuse that they're using, right? Or I don't want to say excuse, but that's the reason that they're using is all of it is medical. You know what I mean? And football is a tough sport, right? That's a tough sport. So I can see, why a guy would be like, look, man, I've been doing this since Pop Warner. And now I'm 25 or 27. I made some money. Let me just take, and invest in something else and go another route.
Yeah.
And again, it comes down to control. If I could have you play, in the NFL until your second or your third contract, that means I got a better product than somebody that's new to, you know what I mean? Somebody that's coming out of in most cases, just coming out of college.
so basically, what everything, go ahead, Jeff, go ahead.
I was just going to ask, have we seen the effect yet, though? Because the NIL just started not that long ago.
Right, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
No, I don't think so. I don't think we've seen the effect. I don't know.
Not yet. Right.
But I think that they don't want it to get to the point where as though, and then I don't think we'll see an effect because, like I said, everybody don't make that type of money, and you know what I mean. As far as NIL, everybody not getting 5 and 7 million.
Yeah. The majority of people not getting nowhere close to that. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. So
not getting nowhere close to that.
Right.
But like I said, it comes down to control. I think that that's a whole nother topic, right? Like some coaches can't coach unless they have leverage, whereas though some coaches, I think, have the ability to reach people and be able to sway people without holding something over your head or threatening you. Like, I'm gonna take your scholarship.
But that's mostly college coaches. That's mostly college coaches. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Because at the professional level, you gotta learn. You're dealing with men, and you have to learn how to. Yeah.
Right. Man, my son was just talking about Urban Meyer when he took that Jacksonville job. And he didn't really want the job. He wanted the paycheck or whatever, but he didn't really want the job. But he got in and he made that hire from that strength and conditioning coach out of Iowa. And he hired that guy. And that guy had a real bad reputation, saying borderline racial things and everything. So, but instead of coming in and talking to your veterans in your locker room and, you know what I mean, asking them, well, what about this coach? I'm thinking about hiring him. He like, nah, you know what I mean? I've run this just like he was at Ohio State, just like he was at Florida. Like, no, I'm going to do this because and he got some pushback where he had to end up firing that guy. He had to end up firing that guy. They like, man, he coming here talking like he was talking, he going to get his ass whipped. These grown men with families, you know what I'm saying, pay mortgages, got kids. He can come in there with that, you know, that talking. He going to get fucked up, right? So, Urban Meyer, Clayton, you crazy, man. You crazy, man. Urban Meyer. So he had to recant, man. He had to go back and say, all right, man, maybe this wasn't, you know what I mean, a good decision. But but he should have talked to the vets in the locker room before doing that, you know.
We're coming in here with that.
Hey, I think Urban Meyer was kind of a con man to begin with.
Really?
I mean, by the time he got here to Kansas, he was crap. He was just all talk.
I think a lot of like Rick Pitino tried to make it in with the Celtics, right? I just think it's a whole different animal when you coaching at the professional level than when you're coaching at the college level. Rick Pitino can go to any college, man, and just turn he could turn Cotton State around. You know what I mean? He could turn a community college around. If Rick Pitino go there, man, he'll have your community college like nationally ranked. You know what I mean? At the couple he can just do that. But it's a whole different relationship when you're talking to people, you know, who you gotta be able to reach them without having like that leverage thing or something.
That fear, you know what I'm saying, about instilling that fear in them. You know what I mean?
I believe a good head coach, a good coach, right? Still, even with the NIL and transfer portal, they still are able to go out and recruit. The number one thing is recruit. And when you're recruiting, you're looking for a certain pedigree. I don't care about money or whatever, because we all agree that kids been getting paid, right? But you're looking for a certain pedigree of person. And it's up to that coach to get out, get into these homes, really do their research, go out and recruit and find that guy that wants to get better, that wants to win, that wants to be developed, that wants to go to the next level. That still exists. I don't care how much money is out there. That still exists because offspring exists. If I'm the type person like that and I'm reproducing genetically, some of that is going to be in my child, stuff like that. So it's always that's going to exist, just like the money guy is going to exist. So I think a good coach, instead of using all this shit as a cop-out, get out there and you just got to go hard. You got to turn over all them stones. You got to find the right pedigree of player and you bring them into your system. And the money shouldn't affect that. You know what I'm saying? So I still think there's players out there that want to be developed, taught, and win. You know?
Yeah,
That's
I
a good
agree
point.
with that. That's
That's a
hard,
lot
though.
of- Go ahead, Mike. Go ahead.
I agree with Clayton, but that's just a lot of hard work and patience and time. And then schools don't have that. You know what I mean? If you don't turn that program around, so you know,
and being able to throw money at kids seems like a shortcut.
Yeah, but guess what? That shortcut is backfiring.
Yep.
It is.
You can't listen, man. We all try to cut corners in certain things in life, right? But it all comes back to the fundamental thing, no matter what.
Yep.
What do you think more of going now? You think the programs are choosing these kids, or you think these young men are choosing the programs? What you think? You think the pendulum has swung one way more so than the other?
I think these coaches aren't going out and recruiting much. And I think the highest bidder and the money and stuff like that is what's doing the recruiting. And I think you're getting a certain type of player as a result of that. And I think some of the good players and good pedigree find themselves at smaller universities and stuff like that, you know, whereas though they're not getting really looked at, they're not getting interviewed, you know what I'm saying? Because guys aren't going out in the field anymore. You got to go out in the field. It is hard work. It's always been hard work. But some of these coaches is getting paid a king's ransom, you know, like the guy that just went to LSU. You getting paid a king's ransom. Get your ass out there and do the hard work. I remember Deion said he stopped going out and recruiting. When he got to Colorado, you got to get out there, man. And you got to find your guy.
I think a
That
lot of
is. What you say, Tom? You think a lot? What?
I just think a lot of it now, real quick. I just think a lot of it now, by what you're saying, Clayton, which I agree with. So the students, the athletes are picking the universities now.
Yes.
Based on what they get, you know what I mean? Based on that. Yeah.
Yes.
And as far as recruiting, I think going out and sitting in kids' living room, that make a big difference, right? I heard Lonzo Mourning say that's why he went to Georgetown, because, you know, like when you see a John Thompson sitting in your living room, that's, you know, and what Rasheed Wallace, you know, he went to, when you got those guys who you look up to and you see them sitting in your living room talking to your mother and your family, man, that just make a big difference. You know, it's an emotional connection right there that you form with that kid. Like, man, that's Dean Smith, that's John Thompson.
Yep.
That's big time for that guy to be at your house, man. You know, so
you know Gary Williams for that. When Gary Williams was at Maryland, he didn't do recruiting trips.
Right.
And I'm like, man, how you not gonna do recruiting trips when Dean Smith and Coach K does?
That's crazy.
I'm like, I didn't get that, man. You know what I'm saying? I really didn't get that. But he said he never recruited the AU player. This Gary Williams I'm talking about. He said he didn't recruit the AU player. And I think he left a lot of talent on the board when he was at UU. He left a lot of talent on the board, man, because of his recruiting practices. You know what I'm saying?
What was that?
He got a
Nice.
national championship though. But go ahead.
Yeah, but look, when you compare him to I do believe like what Tunk said, you leaving a lot of money on the table.
Yes.
If you think about, I done seen Mike Krzyzewski here in Baltimore. I done seen Jim Boeheim here in Baltimore.
I done seen them all.
And what was the guy that was from Temple, the old guy from up in Temple?
John Chain.
Yeah, man, you looking at the coach from UConn, and I never seen the other guy from Maryland.
Yeah, man. Yeah, John was going over Dunbar to the games.
Yep.
He was going over Dunbar to the games, John.
Man, you go down Dunbar late game back when Reggie and all them was there. Lefty knew he wasn't getting none of them players, but his ass was still sitting in the gym.
Yeah.
Still, he knew he wasn't getting them guys because of Ernie Graham. He knew he wasn't. His ass was still in that gym. You would see him, John Thompson, all those guys sitting in the gym. So, I know it's a different era, but I just think some things remain the same. No matter how much change they evolve, but it's still that foundational thing.
That's true. It is. Times has changed and things like that. But I used to like when you could go up to a high school game, man, and you can see them big time coaches in there, man.
Yeah.
It's cool.
I used to like that too, man. You see Boeheim sitting in there, and you just watched him on TV, a few days ago, and he in the gym. And that's crazy. Yeah, but I just thought that was an interesting topic, man. I thought, to me, it seemed like it need to be more regulated as far as what these kids can do, and then it's about control, though. Some people. It's about control.
What I don't want them to be capped though. I don't want you to cap.
Yeah, no, I don't think cap either.
I don't want that. Yeah. Let them get as much as they can get out of it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Don't cap them. You know what I'm saying? But like Clayton and Jim was saying, like everyone's saying, you know what I mean? Regulate it though. Regulate it. Mm-hmm. They talk about getting the commissioner, and I don't know if it's college sports or college football. They was talking about getting a commissioner. They need a commissioner or something. And they want Nick Saban to take the helm, right? They want Nick Saban. Yeah, they want him to head that,
He'd be a good choice, I think.
Yeah. I think Nick Saban should have stayed his ass there instead of running because of the changes. Because he had that kind of cachet. You know what I mean? That could have kind of,
Yeah, he could have weathered that storm.
Yeah.
I think so. But like you said, Mike, a lot of Nick Saban thing, I don't know, but it probably was leverage, and he thought he was giving up some with that NIL coming into play.
Yeah.
Alabama, Nick Saban, man, he could have weathered that storm. I don't know why he jumped ship, man. I don't know, but
it was gonna be more competitive. That's for sure, though.
Let's talk about this NBA, man. I watched the daggone the Spurs and the Clippers, man. And this goddamn, you got a dude playing part-time minutes, getting full-time results. Wembanyama, man.
Yeah.
What was that team down, like 20-something points in that game, I think?
I think it was 24, 23.
Yeah, something like that, man. I'm like, man, this guy's, he just kicking ass and taking names, man. He done beat everybody. And he only, like I say, less than 30 minutes a game.
Just on the behalf of me and Clayton, welcome to the party, man. We've been trying.
Look, I was telling Clayton before you came on. I told Clayton, I said, man, I feel bad. I like Detroit.
Right.
Like you said last week, I like Detroit. I like Cade Cunningham, man. I like the structure of their team. They physical and they play defense. But you're gonna need a second score, man. When you go up there against that daggone Wembanyama, man, you gotta somebody to occupy him. You put one score on one side of the court and one on the other. You know what I mean? And you had to make him work, man, because he played 24 minutes against the Clippers and brought them back from 20-something points down.
20-something points down.
Yeah, man.
And imagine that Detroit 48 game wouldn't even have been close.
that Detroit game, he started off with the three.
Yeah.
I mean, he set the tone early.
And defensively, man, don't forget that part.
Yeah.
Man, I mean, he turns everybody into a jump shooting team, man. Because anything in that paint, man, he can contest.
Yeah,
he had like what was it, 5-6 blocks against Detroit?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He discouraged them a whole lot from using that paint. That was very discouraging when he did that.
He covers so much ground, and he's so long, man. You know what I'm saying?
The wingspan is huge.
Yeah. Any athletic team, man. So and I like that guard they got, Castle. I like him.
Yeah.
I was talking to my pop about him. Yeah, I like Castle. I like him.
Castle Harper.
Yeah.
Harper. Man.
Another one too.
Are you guys ready to say they coming out the West though?
They got
I like them.
Anybody. They got good chances anybody though, Clayton. They got as good chances as anybody. That's for sure.
I don't.
That playoff, it go to another level though too.
Yeah, that's the only thing right there that's holding me back from, because like I see what they did to I see what they did to OKC. I see what they did to the Lakers. I see what they're doing in the West basically. Then when if you from the East and you venture over there, you get some of that same medicine, you know. But
got some of them too. Yeah, they got some of them too. But
that's why with Jason Tatum coming back, right? That makes him the most viable threat to them, because now you got two dudes, two number ones who can fill it up, and they both play defense. Out the East, man, you know, you gotta have somebody like that.
That with the whole Jason Tatum thing. Let me ask y'all, would y'all have brought him back? Do you think it was a mistake? Do you think he was rushed? I mean, he got one of the fastest turnarounds from an injury like that.
That's what I'm afraid.
Fast turnaround? When did he get hurt?
10 months. 10 months.
Yeah. He got one of the fastest turnarounds.
Achilles. Yes.
Yeah. I think the only one who had a faster turnaround was it Dominique. Maybe Dominique
I don't know.
has the turnaround, but yeah, Mike. In comparison, they compared it to KD.
Oh.
KD damn near was 2 years. Like
2 years.
It was real big difference. And I know everybody healed different, everybody body different things like that, but I don't want him to come back too soon, man. And then do we mess up the chemistry? You know, Boston was playing good ball. Do we mess up the chemistry? You know, it's just a lot of questions, man. But I did ask that. I'm like, man, is he back too soon? You know what I mean? Was he did he felt he had to come back because they was playing well without him? You know what I'm saying?
That right there, because when you got remember before they left, before he got injured, you know, you always had whispers in the background like they was, all right, who's the leader of this team, or we're gonna get rid of one and keep the other. So who do you get rid of? Do you get rid of Tatum or you get rid of Brown?
Remember they traded Jalen Brown and all that stuff at one time.
Right. Now you got Brown just
both of them getting paid $50 million.
I know.
I think both of them worth it.
Yeah, I don't think that's why I say I don't think Jason had to rush back because of his spot. He under contract, he getting paid. I don't think they, you know what I'm saying? They're gonna see that through.
But he didn't want to come back, Clayton, he didn't want to come back off an injury like this. He didn't want to come back where it was known that he's the number 2. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that he would be, but maybe in his mind, like, man, if I stay out too long, Jalen might have a, little decent run in the playoffs without me. Then they really would say it ain't no question that Jalen is the one. You know what I'm saying? But who knows?
But if he thinks he's good to go and the team thinks he's good to go, isn't it a win-win to get these last 18, 19 games, get him ready for the playoffs?
They're gonna need him.
No. That's the thing. Based on the medal
in the playoffs, you know what I'm saying? You don't want to bring him back in the playoffs. He got knocked that rust up and stuff. You know what I mean?
And the key thing is his medical condition, right? If the doctor's saying he's good to go, but it could be that Jason saw how good they was playing, and he felt like, I want to come back because we got a chance to win another championship. It might not have been about his spot per se, or being the number 2 or any of that.
Yeah, you know what? I'm not saying that's what I was just saying.
I know. I'm just throwing another thought out there.
But when you see how Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown operated together, you never really see any competition or any pushback between those two.
No.
Like Brown, he wasn't trying to buck for more
Right.
say so on the team, and Tatum ain't really feed into that. So
Right.
I think those guys probably together, I think they cool.
Oh, ain't
Yeah.
no, like Clayton say, both of them getting paid. You know what I'm saying? They
Yeah.
play together. The chemistry is never a bad thing when they both on the court together.
Yeah.
So they don't buy into that me versus him type thing.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not a Russell Westbrook and
KD
Kevin Durant type
Yeah.
situation,
And I'm curious to see. I'm gonna watch Jason Tatum as the games go on, to see, because that first game he's full of adrenaline. The place was packed.
It's the
Well,
whole
let's see if there's any remnant of his injury. Let's see what happens to him. Does he get better, or does you start seeing some decline a little bit based on he ain't 100% healed. You know what I mean? So that's still up in the air, to be honest with you. It's very much up in the air.
Yeah.
I think his confidence too, playing on that, you know what I mean,
On
coming off
that leg.
playing on that leg.
Yeah,
That's a big. But I know
How do you do Friday night?
they're pretty good.
Yeah, he played.
he scored like 12 points, I thought.
He
I
played.
thought he scored 16 or
I
17.
thought he was
but-
like 16 or 17, something like
yeah,
Okay.
I thought it was like 17. Yeah.
All right, yeah.
I don't know how many minutes he played. You know how many minutes he played, Clayton? I don't know how many
I
minutes.
don't offhand. But I know he knocked down some threes. He made some play. He got a dunk. He missed one dunk.
He missed
Yeah.
one. Yeah,
He missed one, but then he finally got a dunk down and stuff. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting.
And then, but see, they over there with the team, like Mike always talk about Detroit. You know what I'm saying? That's real physical and stuff like that. That's going to, beat you up a little bit. So it's going to be interesting. You run into a team like that. The Knicks play physical too.
Yeah.
There's another physical team over in the East. So,
Man, I think the NBA, in my opinion, man, I like this new crop of players that you got coming, because everybody at the top of the East or the top of the West, all those teams play good defense, man. And so they setting the tone, especially, they setting the tone. And so you can't even compete with these guys if you're not going to play no defense. You're going to get exposed. You can't be a one-way basketball player and think you're going to be sitting at the top of the East or the top of the West.
Speaking of that Eastern Conference, man, why do y'all think? Well, I think seems like that Miami is no longer like a desirable destination. Why do y'all think that is?
I don't know, man.
I
think.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Clayton.
You thinking that Jimmy Butler and that whole thing created that kind of stigma for the Heat?
I did. I really did.
Yeah.
I really do. And I'm not saying Pat Riley was right and stuff. I just don't like how he handled it. I think he could have handled that Jimmy situation different, whereas though they could have got assets. Because remember that he wanted the extension. He said no. Then he suspended him. Wound up trading him anyway. So I mean, before it even got that far down, I think he could have, traded Jimmy. Probably got maybe a little something better in return. And it just seemed like when it's free agents talking about moving around and stuff, Miami not really in the mix like that. They really in the mix.
I think with Miami, I just think like Pat Riley is a legend.
Yeah.
But it's and the way he did things, I think they still work. But I just think that his time has come and gone. You know what I mean? Ain't no more excitement about that franchise and the way the franchise. I still think they do things the right way. I think Pat Riley, Eric Spoelstra, the way they run their team, I think, but ain't no excitement around that, and really they don't really have a talent besides like Bam Adebayo. Like what's to attract?
And I think by them saying that they wasn't going to trade, who was the guy? Tyler Hero. Wasn't Tyler Hero? Like they wouldn't trade him if Dan Michael Jordan was available. Like, why are you so tied to this guy like that? I mean, and that made people like, well, why are you so committed to this guy, Tyler Hero, like where he's like off limits? I don't care if Kareem or Wilt Chamberlain was available. You're not trading him. I didn't get that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, what is it, man? You know what I mean? So I don't know. But like you say, Pat Riley's a legend, and Eric Spoelstra, he's a spawn of his. And he runs things the way they run things. I'm not saying that, but it just seemed like that's not a desirable spot for free agents now. You never hear somebody.
I think they run their course. They need like a almost like to reinvent themselves. You know what I mean? Like they have like, they have like a Miami way of doing things, and that's right now. I don't think that's not appealing to those, you know, unless you get you draft somebody and they turn out to be a Dwayne Wade.
And also losing some of the pieces and stuff like that. Do they even have pieces on that team that could be possible if you get one big free agent, they contenders again? I don't even think they have that kind of team anymore.
No, they don't. They don't.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. You can't bring one guy in and that's going to turn them around. Yeah, you need a free people.
Yeah, so if I'm a Giannis or somebody that's going to be on the move or free agent, I'm not looking at Miami because I don't think we can get there. You know what I mean?
Then that's a good point. And then I don't know how they draft pieces of it. They don't even have the assets to be in to be in the running for a Giannis trade.
Right, for Giannis, right.
Yeah, they ain't even got the assets anymore. So
yeah.
I mean, but they're still holding on to a play-in spot.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like this style. Yeah, it's not like Indiana. I mean, I don't know what the hell happened to Indiana, but
I'm surprised at Indiana though.
Halliburton, I think he was the glue to that team, man. I think
he definitely he must have been.
Yeah, I think he was the glue to that team, man. He kept them guys together, and yeah, man, I think that was it. So I give Indiana a mulligan, man, because of the injuries. I know they lost Miles Turner or whatever like that. I really wasn't a big fan of how he plays, but yeah, I think Halliburton, you know what I mean, them losing him, man, they lost their identity, man. They lost their identity. They lost their leader, really.
Yeah. So look, let's talk about I want your opinion on Steve Kerr, Jonathan Kuminga, right? So Steve Kerr was on a podcast and they asked him about why he hasn't been able to develop young players for the next generation, right? And I'm not even a Steve Kerr fan, right? But when you look at basketball historically, like you don't have too many situations where a coach had a great basketball player and was able to take that into a second generation at the professional level. Like when Mike left, Chicago kind of slid. When Magic left, the Lakers slid. Isaiah, the same. Larry Bird, the same in Boston. So to expect Steve Kerr, in my opinion, to be able to, I think he just rode this thing till the wheels came off. And to expect him to take this into a second generation, I think that's unrealistic. And so
I don't necessarily think that people really expected him to still run at the same clip as guys got older. I just think maybe because I'm not a Steve Kerr fan either. I thought he would be better at integrating young guys into it.
Yeah,
I thought he would be better at doing that, integrating the young guys. He had some young guys come through, but for whatever reason, man, he's not able to get them. Steady minutes in the rotation. You know what I'm saying? They play a few games and then they out of there for a few games. It wasn't nothing steady. And he, like you say, now he say he rolled that till the wheels came off. He ate with Draymond, Clay, and Steph. Yeah, you know what I mean? That's right. I'm gonna eat with them until I can't.
Right.
But you being a coach and a player. Don't forget, you're a coach and a player. You know you're gonna have to let these other guys come up to help your older veterans, to help them. And the thing with Kuminga, I still don't understand because he was a young guy. He wanted to play. He had some size. So not playing him, it seemed to be something other than basketball reasons why he wasn't playing him. And that was just make you scratch your head a little bit.
Yeah. So Kuminga first, I think he averaging like 21 points a game his first 3 games in Atlanta, right?
Yeah.
So people are saying that and so now they're going back at Steve Kerr saying that he messed up by letting Kuminga go, but he's sitting on 4 championship rings. You gotta wait till Kuminga do something. You can't wait. You make a layup somewhere else, and you be like, you messed up.
Yeah, you gotta give him a chance to do something too, though.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah. Let him do something.
Yeah.
I kind of see, like I said, I kind of see what Steve Kerr did, though. You know, if you could help Steph Curry get to, because that's their core, that's their foundation. It was Steph, Draymond, and Clay, right? You know, I think I would have did the same thing. I would have rode that till the wheels came off.
Yeah, but if you had young talent on your team, you'd have found space for them, though.
Yeah.
I mean, if you could integrate them in there.
What if the GM is telling them not to play these guys? What if the GM is behind some of this stuff? Because you know that GM put that team together. They drafted Steph and got these different players. What if it's on the GM a little bit?
Now, the first GM that was there, he gone. Now you got this other guy in there. What's this guy's name? He played at Duke. Dunleavy, Dunleavy out of Duke, right?
Right.
Yeah, so I don't know. He could be saying some stuff behind the scene.
What would be his motivation? What would be his motivation for doing that, Clayton?
Yeah.
Well, like you say, you seem like it was more than basketball. So maybe, you know, he's trying to get some draft capital. Maybe he's trying to move the player along for some other reason. I don't know. I really don't know. But I'm just saying, if it seemed like it was something other than basketball,
well,
you know, who knows?
Though, Mike Dunleavy, was he there for all those? I know he wasn't there for all of those championships. Was he there for the last one though? I don't think he was there for
I don't even know. I didn't even know he was the GM now.
Yeah, so. Mike Dunleavy, I think, came after the championships, right? So he can't really take comfort in what they did before he got there. You know what I mean? So he got to really be on top and try to build for the future.
And Jim, I got another scenario. What the motivation could be? It could be the league's motivation. So, you know, because I remember at one time Chris Paul wanted to go to LA, they blocked that. So the league has a certain agenda too. Now the Golden State Warriors, they sitting on 4 championships. They've been a dynasty, but that may have run its course. So now you got more equity in other places, right? And you got other teams that might draw more viewership and stuff like that. So, you know, it could be diabolical in that nature. Like the league could be plotting things and you can't play this guy and this. You never know, man, when you're dealing with those kind of circles, man. You just never know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It feels weird though that everything gets dumped on Kerr's head. Then because Kuminga, he was the one that said, get me out of here. He was the man in the trade.
Yeah.
And it feels weird that everyone just immediately went to, well, that's because of Steve.
Yeah. Well, heavy is the head that wear the crown, and I put 100% on Steve Kerr. I put 100% on Steve Kerr, and not just the how he handled the Kuminga thing, which I didn't agree with, but how he continues to coddle and make excuses for Draymond. But that goes back to what Mike said. You know what I mean? That's my guy. I won with him, so I don't care what he does. I'm riding with him. Other players see that. That's on that roster. They see that, like, man, you know what I mean? I can't get 15 minutes a game. I can't get 20 minutes a game to come in. And
if Draymond Green punch somebody in the face, he's gonna back him up. You know what I mean?
If Draymond punch somebody, you're gonna back that up. You know, the players see that. And you know, Kuminga, I mean, he's getting the opportunity just to play and play and don't have to worry about being pulled off a turnover or a bad shot or defensive miss, you know what I mean? Something like that. So when you just let a guy play and he ain't got to look over his shoulder or worry about everything, man, you know, you get the best version.
I definitely think it's been a few coaches over the years, legendary coaches, that's had a lot of power. Heavy is the head to wear the crown. But I don't think all coaches fit that, you know, that particular characteristic. And a lot of these coaches are just pure puppets. You know what I'm saying?
But what I mean by that is, like, Heavy's the head to wear the crown. I'm not saying they wield so much power. I'm wield like whatever goes wrong on the team, you're going to take the hit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're definitely going to. Yeah, absolutely. Right. And you sign on for that. You know that. Yeah, I get that. You know, I definitely get that. But I just, like you say, you just never know what's going on. behind closed doors, right? And you just never know what the league is plotting and orchestrating, because at the end of the day, it's about viewership and money and delivering on a promise to these networks. You know what I'm saying? That you sign these deals with. So, it's always stuff in the works. You know what I'm saying? It's always something in the works.
I'm not knocking that. I just
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
know what that
Well,
was
see,
with the
I just think Golden State time is up.
I
think
think,
so.
and I think Kerr, because he hasn't developed young talent. I'm not even talking about Kuminga. They had some young guys come there and leave and things like that. You know what I'm saying? And he wasn't able to hold on to these guys and necessarily turn these guys into better players. And I think that he deserves some of the blame for that.
Yeah.
But he
I
didn't
think
develop the team in the first place. Mark Jackson did.
Yeah.
That's true.
So he just coached it.
That's true.
that is my and see, that's the thing. I wish that Mark Jackson would have had an opportunity to coach that team that he developed. You know what I mean? Get some of and get more credit. At least let him get 1 or 2 championships out of that team, man. Because he put it together. They had not been relevant for a long time before Mark Jackson had got there. And
what you guys think about JJ Redick and Luka blow up?
all right,
Did you guys see that? He subbed Luka out, grabbed him, Luka snatched his hand away. They had words.
You know what? But my point to this is, when you talk about basketball, like it's about stats.
Yeah.
Like, why are you worried about getting a scoring record? You stat padding when your team is losing. It's about stats. It exposes, really, in my opinion, it exposed what's the dude, Luka. Like, you worried about how many minutes you play or being out there on the court when you only playing half court basketball anyway.
I think Luka is who he is, and that's not going to change.
That's the way
I know he came in camp. He posed, beginning of the season, he had lost some weight. He looked real good, but seemed like he didn't put some pounds back on a little bit.
Oh, they back.
Yeah, and him arguing with the refs all the time, man. I mean, all the time. I mean, come on, man. That's just, he argues when they don't call a foul. He argues when they call a foul. He argues at the free throw line why they didn't award them free throws. He's still arguing. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just not a good look, man. And he's the best player on the team and things like that. But I don't think you could win with Luka being your leader, man. I don't think you can win with him, man. I don't.
Not if you're gonna play not if you're gonna argue and be a disruptive force like that. He can't. You can't win.
I know he went to the championship game. You know what I'm saying? Championship series against Boston, but he had a Kyrie with him. Kyrie was the leader on that team, even though Luka was the best player. Kyrie was the leader on that team, man. And you see what it's like when you don't have somebody. You know what I'm saying? He's your number one all the way around. Your number one player. They look to him like he's the leader. You're not going to win like that, man.
What y'all think about JJ Redick? Do you think his days are numbered?
Yes.
My thing on JJ Redick is I don't think he's allowed to coach.
Yeah.
Well, he can't coach. He can only coach certain players. If you make a move on that team or coach a decision that is not conducive to what LeBron James want or what he need, then you can't make that move, right? Before LeBron James came back from his sciatica, if you look at how he made moves and the success they had before LeBron James got there, he don't do the same things, right? As far as coaching and subbing and stuff like that, because he got to keep LeBron James. And it probably is political and all that stuff. So it's not about winning. It's political,
Well, you can say the same thing with Steve Kerr. What we just talked about with Steve Kerr.
It's political. Yeah,
so when LeBron leave after this year and JJ Redick stays on, I want to see how good of a coach he is. If he's not allowed to coach because of LeBron, I want to see how good of a coach he is once LeBron leaves, because he ain't no good coach, man. I'm telling you, he's not a good coach, man.
No, I mean he
all right.
We'll
He
see.
ain't no
We'll
good coach,
see.
man.
I
He
don't
ain't no
think he's
good
a good
coach.
coach either. I
Yeah.
just don't think that he's been allowed to. LeBron James is in somebody else huddle dapping up other players. You can't do that, Tom. You can't do that.
That ain't no big deal. I'm gonna tell you this, right? I'm gonna tell you this. If you get a double huddle, man, in a regular season game, in the middle, excuse me, in the middle of February, dapping somebody up, that don't determine if you're a good coach or not. That don't determine.
No, no. My point is the level of respect that you have for your coach and your team. You don't see Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Magic Johnson, and somebody else huddle dapping them up, talking about that was a good move or that was a good play.
Him and I leave
Passing out ice creams and shit.
him and Durant, I got to the point where they old uncles now, right? They old uncles now. I'm out here balling, having fun. Winning championships really don't mean as much anymore. Man, I'm out here having fun. I'm just happy to be out here on the court with y'all young guys playing, doing my thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm not living and dying with every possession, like some fans may want them to be. Man, I'm out here having fun. You know what I mean? Enjoying myself, man. I'm like, you know what I mean? I see the end coming up. I see the finish line. I'm not gonna be up here living and dying with every possession, especially in the middle of February in a regular season game on a Tuesday night. I'm just, you know what I mean? And you can say, man, I don't respect the game and all that. Yeah, I would say you're taking things a little bit too serious, man. You get out there and have fun, man. It ain't that serious, man. You know what I mean? If you see my man from what's his name flying there and dunk the ball, you be like, damn, boy, that was nasty. That don't mean you disrespected the game. And I was like, man, he's giving somebody a little credit. But we as much as we don't want to admit it, we are the old fuddy-duddies, man. I'm talking about us on the panel, man. We are the old fuddy-duddies, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. If we was out there and we was able to go out there and we playing, pickup game, and you see a young dude make a move or something, boy, you like, damn, boy, that was nice, boy. Back in the day, I used to do that. If I was a little younger, you wouldn't be able to do that. Whatever. You know what I mean? That don't mean, oh man, you ain't dedicated to win. I don't want to on my team. You know what I mean? He over there giving a young dude credit. Man, it's not that serious, man. Them guys out there, man.
I'm gonna admit I'm an old fuddy duddy. I'm get off my lawn. You know what I mean? Much as I cut across people when I was a kid, I cut across your lawn, play football in your yard. But now, man, I got my own lawn. I don't want you on it.
Right, you don't want nobody on it.
You know what I mean? Right. I got my own lawn. I don't want you on my lawn, man. So, but look, from a fan standpoint, though, I'm telling you, man, from a fan standpoint. And like you talking about the Lakers, and the expectation that come with playing on that team, right? And the fan base, you got the Laker fan base and you got Boston fan base. Like those two fan bases have higher expectations. Now, if he was with the Wizards and he over there dabbing up somebody, you know what I mean? It probably wouldn't have been much said, man. But you talking about you in LA, it's a different expectation, though, Tom.
But do you think right now today that them fans really is putting that out like, oh man, dude in his 23rd season, 22nd season. Do you now? I can see if he might have been in season 6, season 7. Oh man, he ain't serious. You know what I mean? He want to do. Man, the dude been around for so long. Certain things, man, you're like, yeah, well, it ain't no big deal. It's not. Oh man, we can't win a championship because he dabbed the dude up or. You know what I mean? Told such it was a good shot, man. I don't think they look at it like that. And I think the Laker fans, me being one of them, really know that team ain't gonna win nothing. You know what I mean? So whether LeBron walking around with a scowl on his face, cussing everybody out on the opposing team, that necessarily ain't gonna mean that, oh man, he's serious, they gonna win the title. I mean, I don't look at it that way. Yeah, I don't take it that serious.
But don't you think JJ's kind of set up to fail though?
Oh yeah.
I mean, you're talking about the storied franchise of the Lakers, and you bring him in as a first-time head coach. I'm like, how's everyone not supposed to look at this like, okay, you're just a yes man,
a lame duck coach?
Yeah.
What's the name though? Clayton mentioned front office not too long ago. Mike did too. The Lakers, I don't know why people keep missing this part. They are horribly run, man. They front office is horrible. When you got the Rambises, Kirk Rambis and his wife or ex-wife, they got a lot to say in the front office. They got a lot to say about the move teams make, free agent signings, contracts, extensions, coaching hires. They got a lot to say. Now I don't know how they got to have that kind of control. I think Jenny Buss is friends with Kirk Rambis' wife or something.
Yeah, it was the relationships.
Yeah. And I don't know.
And Magic co-signed some of that too for her. Too.
They're not run right, man. They're not run right, and it trickles down.
But listen, are they still involved? Because didn't the Lakers get sold?
They did get sold, but I think that part is still intact until the off season.
Okay.
I think they're still intact until the off season.
Okay.
So I didn't realize until just this year, though, how much of a mom and pop operation that Laker organization is. You know what I mean? I'm thinking that, you got like one of the most prestigious sports teams, and you know what I mean? And they the way they run it, though, but I don't know I don't know, man.
But just looking back when Jerry West was there, just look back, you know what I'm saying? When Dr. Buss owned the team and Jerry West was the GM, just look how different things was run. You know what I'm saying? And then when Dr. Buss, you know what I mean, he passed away, and then he leave it to his son. Well, one of the sons, he gone now, but the first son that was running it, he ran into the ground. You know what I mean? Whatever he was doing. And then, you got Jenny back, and she knows what she's doing. But like Clayton just said, she got relationships that she leaned on as far as decision making in the front office, and it just hasn't panned out, man. It just hasn't panned out.
All right.
And it trickles down
to
the coaches, it trickles down to the players, things like that, man. So now, when the Luka trade was first made, right, everybody was killing Dallas for that trade, right? Everybody was killing that Dallas, and especially that GM, who since lost his job. But everybody was killing that trade. Now you like a year into that trade, right? And you looking like, well, maybe this what Dallas was looking at with Luka. You couldn't have got way more for him. I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about maybe that's why they wanted to move him. Because Luka ain't gonna do nothing but get older. You know what I'm saying? Luka ain't gonna do nothing but get older. Now, if he ain't playing D now and he whining, you know what I mean, from the opening tap, you know what I mean, to the final horn, the older he gets, it's going to get worse.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But,
So that's why I said once they got rid of Luka, I think the writing was on the wall for not just Luka, but for the rest of the league that the league is going in a different way. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you see these young group of ball players that are playing, they two-way ball players. They playing basketball the way we used to watching it from back when we was growing up, right? And you see guys who were just offensive minded. You see them guys getting moved. You got Trae Young, you got Ja Morant. They talking about moving him, and they so I think the league is just going. They putting players on notice with the moves that they're making around the league. Luka getting traded. It's just going in a different direction, in my opinion.
Is it in a better direction, worse? What do you think is going in a better direction or worse?
I think it's better. And like when we spoke last week, and we was talking about the documentary from the ABA and all that stuff, right? And how basketball goes in cycles. It peaks and valleys. And I just think that basketball, in my opinion, because of the quality of play, I think it's going back up.
One point about the Lakers, right? As far as hiring JJ Redick with no coaching experience, the Lakers kind of believe in that because they did that with Pat Riley.
No, Pat was an assistant.
Yeah, but he wasn't a head coach nowhere. He even said it in his statute thing. They hired him with no coaching experience. So
assistant Paul Westball. He was his assistant.
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying it was like Jerry Buss trusted him. And like he was never a head coach nowhere. And he told him, you in control, do your thing. So, the Lakers kind of believe in that a little bit too,
And it's a different. Go. What were we saying, Tunk?
No. Because Magic wanted Pat Riley.
Yes.
Magic wanted him. So
Yeah.
he went with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But it's a different game.
Yeah.
And I think what you guys talking about the politics of it, that's what's probably poisoning the well out in LA right now.
Mm.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah, the politics of it.
Right.
And see, when we talk about basketball, we either talking about it from a performance-based perspective or statistics, right? But a lot of times we don't include like the political
It's
part
politics.
of it.
Yeah.
Especially as fans.
A lot of times we don't even know. You know what I mean?
Right.
A lot of stuff we don't even know. Yeah.
Right. And so I want to welcome Issy 1456 to the chat, right? She from where's she from? France? I mean, listening from France, my fault.
Okay.
She a fan of the Spurs, right? And
shout out to France.
Dude, I don't know if she was here from the beginning, but that guy, what's the guy? We were just talking about Wemby, right?
Wemby, yeah.
This guy, man. When Wemby in the what he did in the All-Star game, when this guy came out and went hard and heavy in the All-Star game, he was like, all right, this is a guy who seemed like he want to be the face of the league because he made up his mind that he was going to make everybody play, and he was going to go hard. You got to either match his energy or you going,
or you're going to get embarrassed. Yep.
You're going to get embarrassed.
Yep.
So I like that. I like that from coming from the face of the league or somebody who is a potential face of the league. Just raising that bar.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No doubt.
Is he about to become, if he's not already, is he about to become the best player in the league?
Yeah, man.
It's looking that way. It's looking that way.
I hate to say it.
It's looking that way.
We had to keep. We had to go. I can't believe Mike, man. They made a complete 180 degree.
I know.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold up. Hey.
I know he did. I still like what the Joker do. I still like that. I'm a big Ant-Man fan, but it's hard to dispute Wemby that wingspan, the length, everything that he can do. Yeah, man.
Yeah, I just think I like it though because it's another mountain to climb. Like he raising that bar, and so he gonna make Shea get better. He gonna make Cade Cunningham get better. He gonna make Jason Tatum. If you want to win something, you're gonna have to. He raising a bar. You're gonna have to get better.
Yeah, man. Because Andy Edwards, I mean, they doing something in Minnesota, man. I want to see them in the playoffs. See what kind of
doing something.
Yeah, I want to see what kind of run they make, man. Because
yeah, all those. Yeah.
How y'all feel about him cussing at his coach? He said, "This is what I do." Remember, the coach didn't want him to take that shot, but he took it and made it. He said the coach was right. I should have passed it, but I shot it, and this is what I do.
I didn't see that. Who did that?
Anthony.
Yeah. Jim, don't you know Jim?
Absolutely.
He was double teamed in the corner. It was a tough shot.
Yeah.
But, I mean, he's been playing on a roll, man. He's in the zone.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, when you feel it, you feel it.
Yeah. And I like that he said the coach was right. I should have passed it.
Yeah.
But he was like, I just took that shot. I wanted to win.
This is right. Yeah. So what does he say? Guys, I remember the Magic Johnson era when MJ was just a promising young player. Man.
I gotta say something to Sweetheart from France. MJ was never a young, promising player. MJ was the best from day one. But Magic and Bird era was something. But Michael, come on, man.
No, Michael he was the best.
He was the best.
Yeah.
Hey, he was.
Yeah, I think he was promising, Clay. We didn't, even Dominique Wilkins, we didn't foresee this with Mike. You foresaw
this with Mike. We did. Well, I saw it. You guys didn't see it. But me and Bobby Knight saw it. But you guys didn't see it. I'm going to put it there. I'm going to leave it there.
Yeah, man. I watched a clip of Dominique Dominique
Yeah.
said he was at Georgia and
Yeah.
they played against North Carolina.
Yeah.
He was going up against James Worthy, right?
Yeah.
And you know, him and James Worthy was going back and forth. And he said until the last 2 minutes of that game, he said some young freshman cat named Michael Jordan just took over, right?
Took over.
Just
Yes.
took the game over. He's like, this
Yeah.
guy gonna be. He said he didn't foresee Mike doing, you know, at the next level. He said, but this guy
Right.
gonna have a
They
pretty
showed-
good
They
NBA
showed,
career.
they showed a block in that game. Dominique, I don't think it was Worthy. It was somebody though. Man, Dominique threw that shit like 12 rows in the stands.
Mhm.
Man, it was a block. Man. He
Dog.
did like 12 rows in the stands. But I'm like, damn. Yeah.
I tell you what, I remember Dominique, greatest dunk I seen in college. He went up on a dude, right? And then he pulled the ball down and bumped the dude out of bounds
Yeah,
and then flushed it. I will
Yeah.
never forget that dunk.
Man,
yeah,
Nick had them, he had them hops, man. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Went up, bumped him out of bounds, and then dunked it on him.
Dominique,
I said, man, that's incredible.
yeah, he crazy, man. Stuff he used to do is crazy, man. I
don't know.
still think he get enough credit.
I'm
My-
ready to say the same thing. I don't think
Yeah.
Dominique get enough credit either,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, he don't.
don't get enough credit.
Man, I mean, I think he the best dunker. Vince Carter, what's the other better than Vince Carter? Better than Sean? What's the Sean?
Camp.
Yeah,
Sean.
man. I just man, and Vince jumped out the gym, but Dominique, man,
Dominique, and I said this in this panel before. Dominique's probably one of the
That's dope.
purest athletes.
Yes, and NBA definitely. Yeah, definitely, man.
I
My
think
only problem with Nick, he was a one-hand bandit. He had that right hand. That was it.
Mm.
But other
Yeah.
than that, he was incredible. He was
Yeah,
incredible.
he
Yeah.
he had one hand, but they still couldn't do nothing with him.
Oh yeah, he would go off. Don't get me wrong, but I'm
Yeah,
just
he'd
saying
go
that
off.
one hand, man.
I always tip my hat to Dominique because in them battles against Chicago, them battles against Boston, them battles against Detroit, them battles against Philly, he showed up.
He did.
You ain't never hear him
He
talk
did.
about, oh man, my head hurt, you know, I got twisted.
Yeah.
Hard, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Mhm.
Yeah, he came out there, he ain't never punk out or nothing like that. Yeah, man, yeah.
Mm.
Yeah,
Dominique got my respect for sure.
So let me read what Izzy said right here. She said, I was a teacher in a problematic school. I maintained peace in the classroom by postering the classroom walls with Jordan and Elijah size posters, right? And that works because me and Clayton,
That's
man,
true.
all day.
Yeah.
What we talking about in school? All we did was we talk about Michael Jordan and Len Bias
Len
all
Bias.
day.
All day.
All
Yep.
day.
Just passed too, man. His mom just passed.
Who?
Oh, Len Bias' mother?
Yeah.
Lenny?
Oh, no, I didn't know that.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Lou Holtz also passed
He sure
recently.
did. Yep, he sure did. He sure did.
That's
man.
powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah, they kind of like it's coming out about Lou Holtz that he had a whole lot of say or had a whole lot to say
Mm-hmm.
about race relations and things like that and civil rights and stuff like that I didn't know about. You know what I mean? When he was alive or whatever, or at least when he was in front of the camera. There's a lot of stuff
Mhm.
that I didn't know about him. You know what I mean? But I remember, I think the last coaching job he had was South Carolina, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Last
Yep.
coaching job he had. That's right, Jim. That was the last job he had.
Yep.
Yeah, South Carolina. And then he went on TV. Him and Mark May had that show on ESPN talking college football. I used to watch that too.
Mm.
Him and Mark May used to be on that arguing, fake arguing. They used to be funny.
But the dude Lou Holtz was funny too, man. Them
Yeah,
stories he used to
yeah,
tell in the press
yeah.
conference, man. Lou
Yeah.
Holtz was a funny dude.
And just, when
Funny.
him and
Very
Mark May
quotable.
used to be on
Very
there.
quotable.
Yeah.
When him and Mark May used to be on there arguing, and he put Notre Dame up. I mean, Notre Dame could be ranked number 15. He up there, yeah, they gonna be in the national title. He be ranked 15. Mark May, like, man, what are you talking about, man? They not even right. No, they gonna end up there. They gonna beat this team, and after they beat
Yeah.
the Bulls, yeah, man, it was funny, man. It was funny.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's
But yeah,
crazy.
man. I do think though that basketball moving forward, NBA basketball is in good hands, man.
Mhm.
You like that dude? That Orlando Banchero, you like him?
Orlando Pacero. No.
The big boy now, he about like 6'10", 6'9", Banchero down Orlando. Couple years ago, I thought he was ready to, take that next step. But it don't really seem like, you know what I'm saying, he's defended like I thought he would. But I don't know if he's dealing with an injury or things like that. But I thought he would be one of them up and coming players that you'd be talking about. You know what I mean? Like my man in Philly, Mike, that you don't like. That boy bad, Mike. You don't like him, Mike. That boy bad, man. What's his name?
The guard.
Yeah, you don't like him, Mike.
Yeah, he all right. What's the dude?
Mackey. Ain't his name Mackey?
Tyrese. No, not Tyrese. Maxey.
Mackey. Hey, man, I like him, man. I like him a lot, man.
I like him. I just think Philly need more than Tyrese Maxey, though.
Yeah, if Embiid would, decide to show up or could stay healthy, man, I thought that would be a nice 1-2 punch.
Yeah, I like Tyrese Maxey. He all right. I just think
he having a great season.
He really is. He
having a great season.
Yeah. He got moves, Jack. He got moves. I just seen him break a couple ankles this year, man. I'm like, God dang. He's just so fast.
Yeah, he attacks too. He goes in there, he attacks. Yeah.
That other guy from the Spurs is fast too. What's the guy name? Is it Fox? Is his name De'Aaron?
De'Aaron Fox.
The left-handed guy from the Spurs. Oh man, he'd be a nightmare to guard like in open space.
Yeah.
He was one. He is one.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man.
He was one. Yeah.
I bet he gave Lonzo Ball the blues in college. That game they matched up.
But Sacramento had him and they traded him. Sacramento
traded him.
I would, you had to deny him the basketball.
Him and Lonzo came in the same draft, didn't they, Clayton? Him and Lonzo came in the same draft.
Yeah, they came in the same draft.
Same draft.
Yeah, man, it's a nightmare though.
Y'all see where Porzingis at now?
He's in
Golden State.
Golden State.
But they say you can't stay healthy, man. They say they don't know. They don't stay healthy, man. This guy, man. I don't know how long he's been 7 feet tall, man, but it seemed like, man, he went from like 6 feet to 7 feet overnight, man. His body can't do it, man. Yeah, because he always injured, man. He's always Yep.
Interesting.
I like Porzingis though.
Stackhouse on that, one of the assistant coaches up there. And they just hired Eagle Dow too. Yeah, they just hired
Golden State?
Yep. They just hired Eagle Dow and Jerry Stackhouse on the look. I was talking to my son, my oldest, we was on the phone, right? And he was like, man, Stackhouse or Jalen Rose. I said, man, that ain't even no comparison. I say, man, that's Stackhouse 100%. I say, that ain't no comparison, man. Yeah, I say, no, that ain't no comparison. Jalen Rose and Stackhouse. I said, no, that ain't no comparison. I said, that's Stackhouse 100 times out of 100, you ask me. I say, that ain't no comparison to me.
What do you mean? On the NBA level or the college level?
I'm thinking he's assuming NBA, but either one, I'm still thinking.
What Jerry Stackhouse do? I can't even remember his career.
When he came in as a rookie, he was averaging like 20-21 as a rookie.
He went to Detroit? That was his first stop in Detroit?
Yeah, they traded when Philly traded him. They traded him to Detroit because AI came behind him. Him and AI couldn't play together.
Right.
Yeah. AI came.
He was in Philly first, right?
Yeah, he was Philly first. Philly drafted him. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
AI came right behind him. They moved him. But Stackhouse always, in his heyday, even when he was with the Wizards, you know what I'm saying? He was always like a 20-point scorer. Yeah, he was always like a 20-point scorer. Because they traded Rip Hamilton for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, they traded Rip Hamilton out of DC for him. And
Jalen was a point guard, though. He really wasn't a scoring guard, Jalen.
Right. Yeah, Jalen was like more so like a floor general.
Floor general. Yeah. Played good defense too.
Yeah, because he was long. I think Jalen was like 6'7", 6'8". Yeah, but I said, man, that's Stackhouse, man. Yeah, that's Stackhouse for me anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
That's what's up. Yeah. Hey, man, you guys here, Enrique got arrested.
No.
Yeah, the girl in the WNBA, Enrique Agumawali.
What
happened?
He punched the guy.
Huh? Yeah.
He punched the guy. Yeah.
She punched the guy. Yeah.
The one in Seattle?
Yeah, no, the one was with the Dallas team. The one that took off in the All-Star game a couple years ago, Enrique.
Oh, Enrique. Oh,
Yeah.
what's he doing hitting people?
After the celebration or something, she hit somebody at a club.
Yep.
Oh, okay. I don't know why I was thinking about Aneka Ngumage. I was thinking about her. So y'all say Enrique. But
Yeah.
yeah,
She got locked up.
Yeah, they
Yep.
got.
what y'all think? Y'all think they're gonna go to strike?
Who knows?
It'll be so crazy for them to go to strike.
Yeah.
You know, they still saying that some players, the older players in the league, still want to hold out, when the younger players, I think, want to you know, they ready to play.
go.
Most of the young ones.
Well, Breonna Stewart and Kelsey Plum,
Right. They separating themselves.
yeah, they saying that it ain't they're not really happy with the way that the union is representing the players. It's not enough player involvement, stuff like that. But then Breonna kind of backtracked a little bit. It's almost like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I still don't think they're gonna waste this opportunity. I just don't. You can't.
Yeah.
And I think too many players are going to want to play.
Yeah.
These players want to play.
Yeah.
They don't want to miss that money. So
I don't think they want to miss that money either, or the opportunity either. So I think they're gonna play. But then you got some players that still you know, they still bucking. You know, want to act like they're gonna buck the system. But the WNBA and the NBA really not saying nothing. They just letting these girls, they make their statement.
When the season start? When does the season start?
Supposed to start in May.
Yeah.
But they got a deadline March 10th.
Oh wow.
So soft deadline. So it's a couple days away from that deadline. But
it's Tuesday.
Yeah.
But the WNBA PA did send over another proposal yesterday.
Yeah.
So, and then Caitlin made a statement at Team USA saying she would love to see them just get in a room and negotiate, shake hands, just negotiate. Both sides trying to stay hard stance and negotiate. So, we'll see what happened. But it ain't looking good.
What do you see? What do you see happening, Clayton? What do you see happening?
I really think players want to play. So I think even if it goes to a strike, you're gonna have a lot of players that's not gonna strike. That's just what I think and what I believe. Them girls need that money.
Yeah, and that's why I think they're not gonna strike, because I think they know if they take a vote and most players say don't strike, and the ones who say strike, they're gonna feel like I think they're gonna play.
I think they are, but we'll see. I just think all this was just, keeping the name out there, keeping interest. I think they're gonna sign something. That's just me, and now you got Caitlin doing more and more. She got a March Madness thing with Barkley, Samuel Jackson, Magic. That's gonna be running during March Madness. So you got to take advantage of this, man.
And see, a lot of players don't have them endorsements and stuff like she has, and where she can tap into other markets and get revenue other places. A lot of other players don't have that.
Right.
And I also think this new CBA, I think the owners are gonna try to put some stipulation on them girls playing in Unrivaled, because now Aaliyah Boston is hurt and she can't play for Team USA. And they're not even disclosing what the injury is. So to me, that's big. And I think eventually something's got to give. Like the NBA don't allow them guys to play, off season, different leagues, stuff like that. I think they're gonna have to put a hard stance on Unrivaled.
Yeah, I knew that was coming. I knew that was coming anyway. Part of it, Yeah, I knew that.
I feel bad for AB.
If that's the ask that they're going to put in there, then they're going to have to pay for it.
They're going to have to.
Yeah.
But they're going to have to.
I'm going to the women's Big 12 championship game.
Okay. Is Iowa in it?
No, Iowa State didn't make the finals. It's TCU and West Virginia. So I'll get to see Olivia Miles play, and that'll be fun.
Oh,
Olivia
Olivia
Miles.
Miles. You said the Big Ten?
Big 12.
Oh, the Big 12. Man.
Yeah, here it's always in here in Kansas City.
Okay. But the
Olivia
Big
Miles.
Ten tournament, huh?
No, I was just saying she tough, Olivia Miles.
Yeah. And LSU lost to South Carolina. So
Yeah.
I think their championship today, right? For the SEC?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, ain't nobody talking about UCLA. They number 2 in the nation.
Mm.
And but UConn went undefeated. I'm
Yep.
sick of them.
They not really talking about UConn either, though.
They ain't talking about none of that stuff, really.
Yeah.
No.
What y'all think about how y'all think Fuwali her first year played out in LSU?
I ain't even been following it like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know,
Yeah.
I don't know. I gotta look at her stat. I don't know. I
Well, I
don't know.
mean-
I seen it the other day come down and she gave up a sweet move, but you know, like I said, it ain't to me, it ain't make a major impact with LSU. You know what I'm saying? They couldn't beat South Carolina. They lost to them 2 in a row and you know, stuff like that. So I'm not sure, man.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
I think though, and it you know, not to knock Fuwali, it's just that sometimes kids, that leadership that she was getting, the same leadership she was getting from Don Stanley is the same thing she getting from Kim Mulkey. You know what I mean? But she had to find out, you know, you can't, certain things that both teams want the same things. They want you to be able to be a floor general and your shot selection. You know, at that level, you gotta, you know, certain things you gotta do. And so it's a learning experience for her.
You know who took a step back? My girl Flage.
Yeah.
She's not having a good senior season at all.
No, I noticed that too about
Yep. So that's
but I think part of it is that like she don't have that same talent around her that she had when she had, you know, Angel and you know.
Well, last year she played really well. Last year she was up there, you know. It seemed, and they didn't have Angel. I just think something going on with her mentally.
Maybe she's not focused. She's doing a lot of commercials too.
Yeah.
You know, it might not be the same focus. She done cut like 3 albums since Angel left.
She had a chance to ice a game on the free throw line and missed the free throw. She was crying.
Yeah, about her teaming up with Drake.
I hear you. But yeah, man, it's interesting though. But I'm gonna see if I can catch some of that Team USA stuff. Man, I want to see how they use my girl, Ponytail Pete. But I think she's gonna come off the bench.
Yeah,
I do. I don't think they're gonna start her. I think they're gonna favor Chelsea Gray, some of them older vets. So
yeah. I don't know,
Yeah,
but Chelsea Gray kind of old though. Clay, she old, got a lot
Man.
of miles on her.
Bro, I'm just saying what I feel. I don't think I wouldn't do it, but I'm just thinking. To me, I would have her in phase 1 and 2.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I like maybe I don't know, man. I mean, I like Gray and everything, but she, you know, maybe for that leader, that experience and leadership, maybe they thinking that like that, but I don't know, man.
And you still got Kelsey Plum too.
Yeah.
So they loaded at that position. I don't know, man, but I just got a feeling Caitlin coming off that bench.
That's great. Like when that's
They
today.
play this week. They got games coming up this week.
I gotta check that
It's
out.
gonna be
too.
on TNT and True TV and some other places. Yeah.
That's crazy. They still putting them on Tubi. That's disrespectful. Like I don't know.
No. True TV.
Yeah, they may as well be on Tubi.
No, that's a cable TV. That's a cable network. And
Tubi,
TNT and TNT got them too.
Yeah.
TNT. Hey. You crazy, man. That too. You crazy. Bro, you watch wherever they play at, you watch, they got viewership. Anytime Ion can get 1 million viewers when Caitlin playing, come on, man. You know, they're gonna get some viewership.
Yeah, well, I mean, if she play, that's the thing though. You said when Caitlin is playing though, you know what I mean? Like you can't put the whole league on Ion and What
it is, they got every Friday night, they got games on Ion. That's one of the networks that carry the WNBA. Yeah, but I mean, yeah, TNT got it though. I'm gonna see. I think she's coming off the bench though. I just want to see how that play out. But yeah. Anyway,
I was just looking at the schedule.
yeah,
On the 11th, they'll play Senegal, and then the 12th they'll play Puerto Rico.
yeah.
The 14th they'll play Italy. 15th they'll play New Zealand, and the 17th they'll play Spain.
They don't play France. No,
it doesn't look like it.
Don't look like it. But they already qualified though, because they're the gold medalists. So
yeah,
they don't have to qualify, but they playing these games though.
Hey, fellas, man, I got to duck out of here, man. My phone about to die, man.
Yeah.
But I'll see y'all, man. Y'all have a good week.
All right.
Have a good day.
Appreciate y'all, man. Appreciate y'all.
Great seeing you, Tunk.
All right.
Yeah, man. All right, fellas.
All right, man. Y'all enjoy the week, man.
All right, Lee.
All right. Peace
Have
out.
a good one.
All right. All right, man. I just want to thank everybody for tuning in, participating, watching. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to leave a comment. And with that being said, man, y'all tune in next Sunday at 11 a.m. and we'll be right back here with our live show talking NBA basketball. Peace.